You're Jules.
Yes, I'm Jules. I'm brand ambassador for Maison Ferrand in the southwest of France. That's why sometimes my English won't be the best.
No, your English is fantastic.
But I will try.
Cognac cask is not just a cognac cask. There are different coopers in the area and they're playing around with different casks from different coopers to be able to create nuances that they can then blend together. Look at this! It's an egg of a barrel. So these are all the different botanicals that are going into the making up Citadel Gin. This is their experimental barrel warehouse. As we've just seen, juniper casks here, and yes, the smell in here is absolutely incredible because we're now on the first floor of the warehouse. There's a humidity, there's an extra heat because we're close to the ceiling, and it means that the angel share in here is going to be higher, but they're going to get faster aging, and it's going to be different types of aging. So Jules has just explained to me that this incredible egg behind me is where they vat all of the different casks together to create their cellar reserve Citadel Gin. And going into that, we've got the acacia, we've got chestnut. These barrels are made from different types of trees, cherry trees on the top here, and then we've got right at the back here, I've just seen some more chestnut. We can see châtaigne there. We've got mûrier, which is mulberry, and look at the colour of these casks. So we just opened up a bottle of Citadel Cask Reserve from the egg. So this is the gin that has been aged in all these casks and then married together for 2 to 3 months in this beautiful French oak. You're used to tasting this.
That's what we wanted to do.
Wow, that's so intense. Yes, the cat around the grounds of the chateau is called Tom. So this is very aptly named Old Tom Gin. How cool is that? So they're even barrel aging their own sugar. I mean, it's not aged, but they've mixed in their own gin and sugar solution, and they're resting it in this cask here, and that is what goes in to make up their Old Tom. Very subtle, very soft, but it's got its own unique characteristics. Very, very interesting. So we just jumped in the car. Jules is going to take us to one of the other sites. I did that classic thing. I was still in a UK mindset. I got into the wrong side of the car. Yeah, Jules was like, okay, but here we go. So this site that we just arrived at is where they do a lot of the plantation aging. Lots of ex-bourbon casks here, lots of rum, lots of blending going on as well. So we're surrounded by empty casks at the moment. These ones are ones that either they've purchased to fill or ones that they've emptied from things like rum deliveries. Behind me we've got ex-cognac casks, lots of ex-bourbons lying around as well. So these are PX casks behind me, so dark, they look ominous, very, very rich. There's about 4,000 casks holding rum in this building. They are having them delivered from the Caribbean or across the world from various rum distilleries, and then they are emptying them into these ginormous vats where they can marry the liquid together from the same location. They then take it from those vats and pour it into their own ex-cognac casks to then age again. So that's what you're looking at behind me, about 4,000 barrels of rum. So this is the Paradise Cellar. This is where all of the best liquid is kept, some of the oldest ones, and we've got rum casks here, and then beyond that some of their favourite cognac casks. Some of the best distilleries from around the world have their liquid aging in here. Behind me here is a ridiculously cool machine that basically analyzes specifically what the chemical compounds are in any liquid that you put through it. This here allows you to smell the individual elements coming through.
The title, is Creation and Experimentation Manager.
So we're going to have a little taste now of a few products with Fanny, who has got the most incredible job. I think this was a practical joke, but they did it. They distilled Cornichons on their 100-litre rotovap. Never made it out into the UK. Vive le cornichon. There's a lot of pickle there. But you know what? I love pickles, so I think that works tremendously well. This is so impressive. I've been tasting some fun products that aren't really available, and I may have just had an early little taste of one of their single releases. It's aged in delicious barrels that I'm not allowed to say yet, but next level. Really, really good. So we've just arrived at Javrezac. This is another barrel warehouse that they have. Look at this, receiving tanks and that classic black mold on the outside of the building that tells us that inside we got the good stuff. So the smell in this room is really different to most warehouses. Some of these barrels look really old. I mean, look at this. 1989 Trinidad, just written on that there. Jules, do I follow you? I've lost him. They're so high above me, it's actually quite intimidating. It's quite scary. This will do. Oh wow, that's huge. That is Haiti. Wow. literally, Jules, I'm like a kid in a sweet shop right now. I'm missing the train. I'm not catching that train. Wow, undeniably Haitian. That is so cool. So Jules has just opened up another one of the Haitian rum casks. There are 3 casks side by side here. They're different casks, so they will have different characteristics to them. It is drier. It's different. It's very different. Wouldn't it be great to get my rum in here in some of their cognac casks? Guatemala, Trinidad, Jamaica, Barbados, Guyana, Haiti, Guatemala, Trinidad. Am I the only one that gets romantic looking at all of these casks? I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm a married man, but this is so good.
Oh, perfect.
This is fascinating. Richer, denser. That's delicious.
Okay, we got this.
Yeah. Now that's what I'm talking about. That's like green coffee beans. See, that to me is delicious rum. That's why I wanted to taste the Belize. Jules is saying he needs a little sample to take away, just in case he forgets. So I didn't realise they had some, but they've got Harborana wood, which is a tree that is completely indigenous to the Amazon. But you can smell the casks even just next to them. You can smell the wood rather than the contents of them. So that is fascinating. This is just an incredible collection of really, really nuanced rums that are completely unique, and you won't find these anywhere else in the world. What a whistle-stop tour. So I'm just sat at Cognac Station. Jules has just dropped me off. It's a stunning day in Cognac, and I am just out of tasting a dozen casks that Jules picked out for me, ranging up to like 30-plus-year-old rums. There were quite a lot of rum just sampled there, and boy, I could kill for some water. I must be one of the very few people that comes to Cognac and drinks rum, and what a treat it was. A fantastic setup they've got down here. Huge thanks to Alexander Gabriel and his wife Debbie for hosting me. Back to Paris, onwards with the adventures. Let's go see if we can find Scotty at Dirty Dicks. Only on the streets of Paris do you have a live jazz band and a bar over the corner to send them a bottle of wine. And that's good night from me. Bye. Now you know I'm in France. We're listening to French rap.
That's it.